again and welcome to another episode of the Now Show. On today's episode, we're going to have what we call the Now Show chats, where we have candid conversations about subjects that will inspire and encourage. And today's episode, we're going to be talking about empathy and your attitude towards others. And of course, joining me, because like I said, it's a chat and a candid conversation, I have my friend, my brother, Enaoro, okay?
Always good.
Thank you again for doing this with us. And my friend, Tinu Agbabiaka, Ola,
Nice
I was
here.
thank you for doing this with us. And like I said, our attitude towards others and what brought about this. A few weeks ago, I was at a restaurant with my daughter and a couple came in. They had their house up with them and their baby. Of course, the house up was with the baby and they met another couple. So, I think, and they ordered their food, the food came and we noticed, it was even my daughter who called my attention to it and said, Mommy, look on that table. I mean, the girl is sitting there carrying the baby. There's no plate in front of her. So there's even no chance of her eating, no food. So this food was too good for the girl to have or what, she just couldn't deal with it. And I said, Haba, why do we do things like this? Why do we do things like this? We don't think about the other party. So empathy, feeling for people. Because if they were, what you call this, you life coaches, you have a word for it. They won't do that. It's really the fact that she was looking after their child.
So empathy for me,
yes,
when we break it down in emotional intelligence, like certification, everybody says empathy is put yourself in other people's shoes, feel what they feel, hear what they hear. But using logic to teach empathy or looking at it from a process point of view, the first part of empathy is to have that non-judgmental openness. If you don't have a non-judgmental spirit,
yes,
you won't be able to feel. So it has to be you not being judgmental,
okay,
and then be open to what the other person is experiencing or is saying or is feeling, to the extent that it gives you awareness and connection. It looks like a process.
Yeah, it does look like a process.
You have to start with somebody comes in late to the office, somebody is not eating. You have to start with not being judgmental and then be open to what are they saying or what is going on there.
What is going on with the person?
So when you're not judgmental, you're able to see.
Okay.
Then you can get awareness and then you can connect with your own emotions. So without that, there will be no empathy.
Wow. And what would you say? What's your view about this?
Well, I mean, looking at empathy on its own, I feel, you see, empathy comes from, which is as opposed to sympathizing, sympathy. Empathy is putting yourself in the person's shoes. Well, I think the major challenge with that is the fact that if you have not been in somebody's shoes, it's usually a little bit difficult to be able to, stir up emotions.
Okay.
For instance, if I see maybe an orphan,
yes,
and I'm not an orphan, it may be hard to have the full grasp of what this person is going through, as opposed to, and that's why you find out that people who have walked the same shoes are able to empathize more.
Okay.
So if you sit in a place and you see an orphan, and it's an orphan seeing that person, what happens immediately in the mind of the person is that person is transported back in time into when he or she was going through that same phase. And that is why for me as a counselor, I usually advise, if you have not walked a line, don't jump in and say maybe say things that will minimize the person's pain, because that's the risk
But there's some things that are just basic, that I consider basic, that you don't need to have walked through that path or worn those shoes for you to be able to do. Something as simple as treating your house help, nicely, things
No,
like,
but you see the difference in that
why
is
do
that
people give to motherless babies home?
No,
it's not
but
because they're motherless, but they know that these people lack, so they're willing to support and be there.
no, the difference in that, let me tell you the difference in that.
Yes.
When a mother, this is a house of carrying a baby.
Yes.
So you're a mother already.
Yes.
You know that this is somebody's child.
Exactly.
Who has gone through,
Yes.
that. So it's not so much, like you must have gone through the exact same situation, but you must have I find it inconceivable that a mother, somebody who has given birth, and really being a house help or being a house child, kid, it's just a consequence of birth. It's really not the circumstance of birth.
Yes.
So, however, there are two sides to it. You see, this is a man and a woman. This is a couple sitting down.
Yes, which is why I brought my brother and you to talk. I mean, let's have from the man's perspective. Let's have from the man's perspective.
Because you would expect that.
Because I'm there thinking, okay, if one person didn't say it,
exactly, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Like, if the wife didn't think about it, could the husband have said,
no, we can't do this.
Do you understand?
Yeah. And that's where there's a problem.
Yes.
So you find out that these two people are going to raise that child, that baby, in that same way. Because they know you can't give what you don't have.
Yes.
They're going to raise that, and these are the people that, have children who talk anyhow to the house elves or the nannies, and just treat them and it reflects in their own personal relationships. By the time they grow up, they'll find themselves doing exactly the same way, the same thing.
And
why
as the man, yes.
For me, when it comes to emotions, really, at the height of learning about emotions, it has nothing to do with your gender.
Okay.
Really.
So emotions has something to do with your gender.
Men get angry, women get angry. Men are calm, women are calm.
Yes.
But where the challenge would be the knowledge or the experience that you've had as a person.
Okay.
So if you're looking at that girl as a house help who do not deserve, you have already judged.
Wow.
Now that judgment already blocks your ability to hear what she's saying, so that you can be able to hear what the other person is hearing, empathy.
Yes.
Or it blocks your ability to feel what that person might be feeling, empathy, or to see what that person might be seeing. And let's take a mother and a child. Homework, right? If the mother is not careful in trying to help the child, with their homework, if she begins to judge in her mind that, this child does not know this thing. This child might not be brilliant. Now, that's a sense of judgment, right? Instead of being open to understanding the child, very soon she will begin to yell. Very soon she's going to be frustrated. Let this emotion with your ordinary time. You don't know. You see, you're already hitting. You're already getting. You're getting worked up.
Yes.
The challenge is that the mother is not open enough, without any judgment of, this child might not be smart or this child is smart and all of that, and then relate with the child based on what the child is saying.
Okay.
If you're able to do that. And so the first step to practicing empathy is self-awareness. It's a little...
self-awareness.
So we're trying to feel the other person.
Okay.
Hear the other person. But we have to be aware first. You have to know who you are. You have to come to realization that we're not listening to that young girl. If you don't get to that,
yes.
See, when I'm in a session with a couple, sometimes I wish there's a drug called empathy. I can go into the pharmacy and just open the mouse
and drop it down. Yes.
Because when the coaching session, your wife is talking or your husband is talking, but you can't. I can hear what she's saying. Right? Recently, I was in a session just 2 days ago.
Yes.
I was in a session with a 65-years-old woman and a 70-years-old man. They're trying to make their marriage better.
At that stage?
42 years.
Wow.
Marriage. Now,
wow.
The woman was saying...
there's no end to this,
The woman was saying, you don't let me talk. You just I'm smart everywhere. Only at home. I'm not smart at home. But when I go out, people say, wow, you're doing well. But when I'm home, I don't know anything. I can't do anything. And the man is saying, no, it's not like that. You react so much. And then I said, can we listen?
Can you listen? Exactly.
Can we listen? Like, listen deep to what she's saying. She's saying that she's not being heard. She's saying that she's not being cared for. She's saying that she needs a validation. Everybody says I'm smart. You are not saying I'm smart. Can we listen? And then I said, take a deep breath. Listen like you never listened before. And then I saw the sugar dropped.
Because the realization set in.
So what has happened is that maybe it's what we call the law of see finish. This one has been with you every time.
Yes.
You're not listening to what she's saying. So he has not been able to put himself in the shoes of the woman. She's saying, I'm feeling pain. You are saying it's not supposed to be painful. That's lack of empathy. And then he said to me, I can't feel what somebody else is feeling.
Okay.
And then I said, can you imagine? He said, yes, I can imagine it. He said, close your eyes. Now, don't be judgmental. Be open. Just imagine what she's saying. That she's feeling pain based on the words that you use on her. I said, so imagine somebody else using words on you and you are actually feeling pain. Feel the pain. And that was the therapy.
Wow. So how would you counsel this couple if you had that chance to be with them? First and foremost, they didn't even know that
they wouldn't even do exactly. That's where I'm going to.
They didn't even know they were doing anything wrong.
You see, I'm telling you, if you look at it, it's probably a ripple
back to it because she just couldn't. She kept saying, "Mommy, I don't believe," And all that was in my head was when this girl starts maltreating this child. Nobody would understand. They would think, "Oh, she's a bad girl. She's wicked. She's this. She's that." But there'll be a reaction. It's a reaction from what I can just imagine what she's going through in that kind of home. And maybe they treat her well, but they just felt, okay, this restaurant is so expensive to give you this food to eat. Should there be a limit to what you can give to another person?
You see, it starts
towards others.
Yes, but then it starts from kindness.
Okay.
You see, if you're kind, even in situations like you were saying that even if you haven't been in it, you can imagine it. If you're kind, then that will come out. That's human kindness. It's in it. It's in everybody. But for some of us, we were raised with it too. Yes. For others, they were not. So you would even find situations that even people who have gone through what you've gone through are not kind. They don't empathize. They say, "Hey, you to go and have suffered. You to go and suffer your own." So it comes with kindness, and you would, if that couple came to me, going back in time, I can assure you that was how they were raised too, and that's what that ripple effect, from generation, one generation to the other. And both of them, I can bet you, are candidates for counseling because they'll probably have issues with each other. Because it's very easy to, what you do to others, you end up seeing that you will do it to, they're going to do it to each other. At some point, it's going to be, why are you so insensitive? They'll forget that what you do to others is eventually what you do to yourself. Whether you intend to or not.
Which brings me to another subject of, us accepting where people want to correct us. Because we seem to be in an environment where people are very careful. Because I can tell you one thing. That day actually felt like going to them. Because I said to myself that maybe they don't even know. Maybe they did, And somebody said to me, if these children insult you, you know how it is, like if you go there and they insult you, you will have no one to blame but yourself. So that brings me to the subject of the way we react when people try to tell us things that maybe we're not aware of, but which are very important for us to know about.
So unfortunately, when when you're not aware, you're not aware. There's a place for unconscious incompetence.
Wow. When you are not aware, you are not aware.
Yeah, there's a place for unconscious incompetence. When you don't know that you don't know how to.
Wow.
There's a place for that. When I tell you, oh, it seems like you're being a little hot-tempered. And you say, well, what do you mean? How can you say I'm hot-tempered? Already expressing the hot temper that we're talking about without realizing. So there's a place for that.
Okay.
And unfortunately, there's nothing you can do to that state until someone comes to the level of awareness. And awareness can come from somebody pointing you to the fact that it seems like you're doing this thing. Or, like we do for organizations, we strategically tell the person to take a test.
Yes.
Maybe an emotional intelligence test.
Yes.
So that when the test report comes out and he's reading it, he's going to say, okay, so what's going on here? Why is this report saying this about me? And then we can start the conversation. Maybe that's why you said something the other day to that staff. Maybe when they now come to that place of awareness, we can now start the journey. But there's a risk of them denying that everything is wrong when they are not aware yet. It's like a madman. A madman can be naked on the street until the day he realizes that he's.
I actually, in partially agreeing with you in terms of nothing can be done. If I were you in that particular situation, it's strategy. Because a lot of times I find people even really, they like you, the example you gave, they love each other, but they just don't know how to express it because love has never been expressed to them. So they really don't know how to, So if I were you, number one is isolate. I'm going to call the woman.
This is a busy restaurant.
I will call
people are seated at their table.
I will call the woman
in this COVID period.
Excuse me, ma'am.
I'm not.
No, I'm just saying. We're saying generally.
Myself,
this is an after the fact, for you, because you were real in the situation.
Yes.
But I'm just telling you what I would do, and my husband knows that I will do it. I will. Excuse me, can I see you? Why would I call the woman? If I call the man, the woman, it will create problems in their home. Because the man, as men, knowing that, he will say, are you not a woman? It's not a fellow woman like you that came to tell me. So we could create problems. Yeah. So what I'll do is call the woman and take it from the strategy of our child. Say, Dad, are you sure that girl will not be beaten? Like what you said, when you are not there, even if to give your baby a good knock in the right place, and you are not around, you have to treat them. And a lot, I do it a lot. I do even for couples, because when couples sit, I see,
those ones have come to you for therapy.
No. I'm saying people I don't know. I'm saying people I don't know.
Option?
I'm saying people I don't know. It's just so that no. You see, that's a moment. What I'm saying is that's a moment. It might be what will save several years of tears. That's a moment to drop the awareness. And you see, something about words is that even if they say, get out, mind your business, you have sown the seed. You have sown that seed, you've done your bit.
Okay.
What would happen is that they'll probably get home and you will find out, no, I've never seen it not work. Just drop that seed. They may deny, they may try to use bold face to say, no, this one, do you know that she has just eaten amala? That's not the point. The point is, we're in a restaurant. If you knew you couldn't afford to feed her,
or it's not the kind of food that
she would like to eat, then you don't have, this is not a do or die affair. You don't have to come with her. You could have left her at home, give them with the baby, or find somewhere to keep your baby, and then you do your nice outing. Like, personally, if it were me, I probably wouldn't have her. I will have her on a table right beside me with what she's eating, because me, I like my husband, you know that one. So I don't want three is a crowd, you know.
No, they had another couple with them, so they were doing you
Can
know.
you imagine? So even the other couple couldn't even
they didn't
come
say
up.
it.
You
They
see,
didn't say it
that's the
either.
problem.
They didn't say
These
it
are
either. So I
people.
think it's
Yeah.
yeah.
They really should have. They should have too. Because I mean, that's why I went back to kindness. You know, when you're kind, how can you be eating, even if it's somebody that can't afford to, that is there, you can't be eating in front of other people, not able to. It's a different case if you say, I don't want to eat, or I'm fasting, I'm on the mountain. But you are eating and someone else is there.
Maybe, well, except maybe the girl was fasting.
Because that may be another person.
There's a place for that window of they treat, like you said before, they treat her well, and she might not need to eat that day. That window is there. But what we're actually discussing is, what if that's actually
not the
attitude?
situation?
Yes.
And like you said, yes, you could take that moment. The part that I like is that for you will take that moment, and even if they insult you, you
drop the seed.
Drop the seed. Okay.
And that seed is very important.
It's risky.
Yeah. No, it's risky. They won't beat you. They can't beat you. And you won't even see them again.
These children of nowadays.
They can't beat you. They can't beat you. They can insult you. They can tell you, old mama, mind your business.
Yes,
But I tell you, you have dropped that seed. They would go back, and it will make a difference.
Okay.
It will. You may not be there, and that's how we have
to sell. Next time,
drop the seed. Drop the seed and let it grow.
Yes.
I mean, it will grow. It will. There's no way they will get home, and probably in our own reflecting moment, she won't think, wait a minute.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, I didn't think of it. That woman or the husband, will say, and that woman made a point, so maybe we shouldn't have done that. And we all make mistakes. So it may not even be that they're terrible people.
Okay.
We all make mistakes. Nobody's infallible. We all make mistakes. We all look back at things and think, what could I have done better in that situation? Which is what, we're discussing now. So it's possible that was it. And like we just joked now, the girl may be fasting.
Okay. We could go on and on discussing this, but we're limited by time. So what I want you to do in wrapping up is, and I just tell us a few, what should be our attitude towards others? Generally, advice for my viewers.
We should be sensitive enough to know that there is the other person, and the other person is different. The other person might be going through something that we don't know. So the ability to be sensitive enough to the people around you, your staff, your son, your daughter, your spouse, the people around you, just be sensitive enough that you would pick up something that would make you listen deeper. The person that just committed suicide, the person was speaking for years, but nobody could listen. Nobody was hearing, and the person was speaking. I mean, the child that's beginning to take drugs, he's been saying something, but the parents are not listening. And all of a sudden, he found a listening ear, and unfortunately, it's a call to the wrong one. So we need to listen to. Relationship is the most important thing in life, and let's not use the relationship to create pain for ourselves. Let's listen to the children. The depth of empathy is to listen to what other people are saying without judging them, so that you can hear beyond what you are hearing. You can see beyond what you are seeing, and you can feel beyond what you're feeling. When you're able to do that, then you have more options instead of staying in your own world and your world alone. And that will make your world and the world around you a better place.
Wow. Thank you, Antinu. What would you say?
Well, I would say, in addition to what he has said, that, putting yourself in somebody's shoes, even if you really, really have not gone through it, but you will find that, because we're all relational beings, you will find that in one way or the other, you perhaps know someone or can feel how maybe the work, for instance, in this situation that we're talking about. So we're all, we have to be kind. And I think that's the first thing. And we should also remember that whatever we do to someone, even if it's a stranger, is a seed we're sowing, not only for ourselves, but for our unborn children, for our generations coming. I have known and seen people who have taken from the good their parents did, that they had no idea what it was. Yes, I actually know somebody who didn't pay throughout her school, secondary school, because of that. Yeah. She said she doesn't know what her father did, but whatever he did must have been good. Right. So we have to be careful because we don't know where our children will be. We don't even know where we will be. I mean, there's heard stories, even scriptural stories of how it was a house help that helped, a situation. So we really have to be kind to people. House help or not, we have to be kind to people. Yeah. That's just it. And that way you don't need a script. Kindness doesn't need a script. Wow. It comes, from inside. You just run with it.
Wow. Thank you so very much, Enna Antino, for talking about this with us. And we do hope that when we call you for more topics, because I mean, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do, I'm sure, like me, you are so passionate about building up people. Yeah. Let's build people together. Yeah. You had it all. Be kind. Think about the other party. Have empathy and be sensitive and treat people nicely. So until we come your way again on Candid Conversations, talking about something else, I'm sure with my brother and my sister again. Your regular host, Abosede Ozao, saying bye for now with Enaoro, okay? Antinola Agbabiaka.
Bye.